Hello, my name is Damon Friedman, co-founder and president of SOF Missions. As a 20-year veteran within Special Operations, I've gone through many challenges due to my military service and time in combat. We felt called to start SOF Missions to serve our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, focusing on suicide prevention and resiliency. Our mission at SOF Missions is to empower warriors to find purpose and be resilient. Since 2011, when we started the organization, almost 3 million men and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the scars of war take a toll on their psychological, physical, social, and spiritual health. Many veterans feel a sense of hopelessness and a loss of purpose when they return to civilian life. They feel isolated and alone, unable to reconnect. And in the greatest of tragedies, over 20 veterans lose all hope and take their own lives. Our goal at SOF Missions is to provide veterans the tools and resources so that they don't become a statistic. We offer a unique approach to combating veteran suicide through a whole health intradisciplinary model. The Be Resilient program is a 4-pillar methodology that addresses the areas of psychological, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. We provide care through 3 delivery methods: medical clinics, retreats, and educational training. Since we started back in 2011, we have been able to reach veterans in all 50 states and have served over 3,000 veterans through the Be Resilient program. Being resilient is a multifaceted and complex issue. We know that to find a lasting solution, we have to address the whole warrior. Many challenges cannot be solved by providing the treatments and modalities of just one component, but by tackling them all. Now, we've expanded our services to include law enforcement and first responders. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the lives of warriors across the nation. To learn more, visit our website at sofmissions.org.
For your post assignment, all units proceed to your post assignment.
All right. Welcome back.
MisFit Nation, the MisFit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience need to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the MisFit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the MisFit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the MisFit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Welcome back to the MisFit Nation show. It's your Thursday after dinner show, and we're glad to have you with us. We know you can be elsewhere watching other things, doing other things with your families, but you choose to ride with us, and we thank you for that. Thanks for collecting your frequent flyer miles with the MisFit Nation, and we're glad to have you here. Tonight we have a great guest, but before we get to him, of course, we always have to bring the bad news first. Rest in peace to Deputy Sheriff Joshua Aaron Brashears, Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Mississippi, End of watch Friday, October 17th, 2025. And police officer Lauren Craven, La Mesa Police Department, California. End of watch Monday, October 20th, 2025. Let's keep those two police officers, their families, their friends, their communities in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this sudden change in life. Yes, we know that when they put that uniform on, they know there's a danger, but their families don't always accept that danger until it's the last time. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers and help them to get through this time. Tonight's guest is a U.S. Navy veteran and the founder of GetGeofencing.com, a cutting-edge digital marketing agency specializing in location-based advertising. With over 7 years of experience helping clients dominate their markets, from real estate and restaurants to political campaigns and healthcare, he brings tactical precision, creative strategy, and relentless execution to every campaign. So without further ado, let's welcome Chris Seminatore to the Misfit Nation show. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, Rich. How you doing, sir? Man, I really appreciate you having me on here. I'm a big fan, big supporter.
Awesome. It's great to have you here. I hope I didn't butcher your last name there because I did not ask you how to say it before the show.
Seminatore. You got to say it with a little bit of love. It took me about to the 5th grade to learn how to spell it, man. It was wild.
I bet kindergarten was a lot of fun with that name. Mine was fun too. But when you have that vowel at the end of your name, it's a little hard to say things.
Yeah, it was a tough childhood, Rich. It was.
Hey, Chris S., come here. But Chris, I just gave the basic elevator pitch speech about you right there. What would you like the Misfit Nation to know about you from as far back as you want to go to how we got to this point?
That's a pretty wide-ranging question, Rich.
Man. So.
Thanks for having me, brother. I'm a Navy veteran who traded his flight deck for a digital dashboard. And what we do is we help businesses target customers based on where they actually go as opposed to what they're searching for. My journey from the military to entrepreneurship taught me two things. Discipline without adaptability kills growth. And leadership without purpose kills culture. In the Navy, the mission was really clear. And in business, you have to create that mission every day, not only for yourself, but for your staff and your clients. I built my company on that mindset: precision, accountability, and speed. And I believe that veteran entrepreneurs are wired perfectly for the new economy. We know how to execute under pressure, and we're not afraid to start from zero.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do good, man.
Yeah, that's the veteran mindset right there. We don't start at zero. We start and we go 100%, 100 miles an hour into that wall if we have to maybe break through it or crash and burn and get up again and do it and try again. And you did your service and then came out and did this. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I tell you what, I hope I measure up to some of the last guests that you've had recently. I remember I was just watching, I think it was a very recent show about the gentleman who wrote that book, Stand Your Ground. And I guess he got into an altercation at an establishment and ended up killing 2 people and then had those murder charges hanging over his head for like 7 years, man. That was a good podcast. I listened to that. That was a good one.
Yeah, Barry Todd, he was on with the Tuesday crew. Jay Collins, just seeing him pop up saying good evening. Him and my brother Steven, they host that show, and they did a great job with Barry Todd. And Barry was brought to us by the Heroes Media Group. Adam Bird sent him to us, and I'm glad that he did send him to us. It was a great show, like you said. It's always good to have a great backstory to it, and bring it out to light and gather the heartstrings of others like yourself.
It's a hard act to follow, Rich. I'm not going to lie to you, man.
Yeah, we just set the bar a little higher for you. You know, as the end of the season, it's hard to adapt to that. But I know you can do this. You did 4 years in the Navy, 4 or 5 years in the Navy. Wow. What was your rating in the Navy? What was your MOS?
I was a spook. I was a CT. We call them ratings. Yeah, MOS. I think is Army, what you guys call them. And basically, what we did was I went to intelligence training at Fort Devens, Massachusetts, up in Massachusetts, and they taught us basically how to identify platforms and personnel through radio waves, and so that we could identify location too through those. And we took that and we went to the Gulf War with that, and we basically would go find people that we wanted to talk to, things of that nature. Learned a lot about radio frequencies, lines of bearings, things of that. Intelligence work is what it was.
guys who sit in rooms with no lights and listen to noise and come out and squint all the time. So we call them.
I wasn't smart enough to be an analyst, man. So they put me out there. So.
I like to call those guys squints affectionately.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, I was stationed at a Tory station down in Okinawa. There's a special forces base, and there's only about 30 of us Navy guys, man. Those special forces, they used to pick on us all the time, man. We'd have to get little brouhahas with them every now and then. Some of them we won, some of them we didn't. You know.
But in the end, you had probably.
And then I was stationed up in Misawa, Japan, too. That was beautiful up there. Actually, I wrote a direct support out of Misawa, Japan. That's how I ended up in Iraq and all that. And basically, that was when the Navy was kind of like animals. I mean, it was a very rough crowd up there. And yeah, I mean, I got some stories from up there. I don't know if they're suited for your thing or not, but it was pretty crazy times up there. There's some rough individuals I served with up there. Logo direct support, 57 Division, Misawa, Japan.
Outstanding. Jake said he can tell you weren't Navy EOD. Your hair isn't nice enough.
Those EOD guys are pretty strange, man. I'll tell you, the strangest people that I've seen in the military were snipers, man. Those guys, that's a special breed right there all the way around. I've got nothing but respect and admiration for them. But, man, you could tell when somebody was a sniper. I mean, we had a little bar down in Okinawa called the Seaside Inn, or Seaside Cavern, something like that. And you could just tell those were the guys that had that 1,000-yard stare, man. And they usually sit by themselves just drinking their beer. I mean, you knew not to play around with those cats.
They know what they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. It eliminate me.
The person they find. So how long was it after you got out of the service did you started to think I'm going to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I tell you what, Rich, to be honest with you, I really didn't want to work for a company who would hire somebody like me. And so I worked for, as soon as I got out of the Navy, I went to Miami of Ohio University, and then I got my bachelor's degree. I was going to go to medical school, but I was just so tired of being in a classroom. And just to be honest with you, that's one of the things I want to talk with you about on this podcast was that transition that you go through when you get out of the military. At least from my own perspective. When I got to Miami of Ohio, I went straight from, got out of Iraq, came down to Okinawa, and then went to IOP process in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, after 5 years. And 2 weeks later, I was in the middle of a college campus. And I look back on it, man, there's just so many different things I wish I could have told myself back then. I mean, I just really didn't. When I got out of the military, I didn't really feel comfortable in my own skin. I felt like everybody was looking at me, and I just felt different, you know. And I'm sure I think a lot of other veterans kind of relate to that transition when you go through it.
And especially when it's sudden change like that, you go from having that precision, that day that's set up for you every day. You know what's going to happen every day, and then all of a sudden, now you're a student at the University of Miami, Ohio. I think it's the Redbirds, right? You go
there. It used to be Redhawks, yeah. Or I mean, it was a Redskins is what it was in the beginning, and then we got Liquid Red.
Yeah, so you can't have that. So, but then you're sitting there now. You're 5 years older than the freshman there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a motorcycle, and it was pretty cool because the Sigma Chi house let me park my motorcycle in their living room, which is pretty neat. But then they asked me to pledge for the fraternity today. I was like, I'm not pledging for no fraternity. And just everything, I felt older. I was older. And it was just kind of like a square peg going in a round hole, man, is what it felt like, you know. And maybe I should have been a lot easier on myself or looked at it really kind of deteriorates your self-esteem or whatnot in certain ways. Now looking back on it, they say, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, you know.
It's much easier to see behind you than it is in front of you sometimes. It
is. And I wish I would have had the wisdom or the knowledge that I have now, and I would have developed better habits, better coping mechanisms for it, because mine were all pretty self-destructive, just to be honest with you.
And that's a common path for many veterans. They do the self-destructive path to cope. And taking drugs, adrenaline-based things, anything in that realm. They try all that stuff to try to cope with whatever's happening over here. They do something here to try to counterbalance it, and sometimes it just doesn't work for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I did play rugby at Miami of Ohio, and I did find some of the camaraderie that I had in the military with the rugby players over there. But It just wasn't the same. It was something that I guess it gets ingrained with you in the military that you're with your brothers. I mean, you're not really fighting for a cause or anything like that. You're fighting for the brother next to you, you know? And so I don't know. Then I missed that. So I was missing that. I felt it was just there was a whole bunch of different emotions that go through your brain when then you're not really quite sure what the future is, what you're going to do or anything like that. And so just, I think the biggest advice I could offer to somebody in that situation, if I were to talk to my 25-year-old self, would be to be kind to yourself, develop healthy habits, understand that you're going through a transition, be aware of what you're feeling and what your thoughts are. And then once you have that awareness, then you can really start addressing them.
Definitely. And back then, when you got out, there wasn't anything that was called the Student Veterans Association or not until during GWAT. So that was like 2007 or 2008 that it finally got incorporated. And now it's almost every campus has an SVA chapter now, where guys like you and me can get out and say, "Hey, I still have someone here I can talk to."
Yeah,
with me. It doesn't just look at me like I'm the dude from Goonies sitting in the dang thing eating Butterfingers.
Dude, absolutely, man. And you could have described it better. That was a great analogy right there, man. And there wasn't really any type of support groups or anything like that. When I out processed in New Orleans, Louisiana, you got this certain like kind of freedom or attitude or whatnot that you can't be touched, and they kind of know they can't do anything to you, so you kind of go out of bounds or whatnot. Especially if you're in New Orleans, man. I mean, New Orleans is a crazy town to begin with. Go Pat O'Brien's.
It's definitely a place where you learn bad habits. Still is to this day. That hasn't changed much.
I know. Well, thank God Los Angeles isn't that way.
That's a different animal, Los Angeles.
Absolutely, man. I finished up at Miami, Ohio. I got my degree, and then I hopped in an 85 T-Bird, and I had I think about 10 G's to my name. And I drove out. Took Route 66 all the way out as far as I could, and ended up in Los Angeles. And I stayed in Vegas for a week. I was thinking about staying in Vegas, but I was like, nah. Vegas is good for about 3 or 4 days. Then you got to get out of there, man.
Again. You would have felt like you were in the Navy again.
Yeah, exactly. So ended up in Los Angeles, and then I started out. I work with UNICEF, which helped me out a lot because we were working with doing fundraisers and stuff like that, helping out different causes and whatnot that UNICEF supports. And then I moved over I worked at Morgan Stanley in Beverly Hills as a financial advisor for a couple years. And I didn't have any family or friends money, so I had to kind of figure things out pretty quickly. And I'm going to leave the company out of it, but I was able to obtain an employee handbook from a very large company where I started calling that company, and they kind of mistaken me for their financial advisor. So I would call them up and just schedule an appointment and say, "Hey, I'm available at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, which works best for you?" So then I was able to build up a pretty big investment book doing that. And that's one of the things about the military, Terry. They really teach you to improvise, and stuff breaks all the time. And how you overcome that is it's a skill that is imparted to you in the military. And you got to take advantage of that skill too, because it's going to serve you very well in life. You've got to adapt and overcome, man. You have to.
You definitely have to. You don't wind up left behind.
Yeah, for sure. And the Navy chiefs had some very colorful ways of putting that, man, to be honest with you. There's no excuses.
By colorful, you mean very direct and very affectionate towards you.
Oh, absolutely. Very supportive and, understanding. Yes.
Loving is a good word for it, I believe. I believe that crossed all branches. They were just called different titles. So instead of chief, it was the sergeant first class or platoon sergeant.
Absolutely.
So you just have to learn how to, take your beating and move forward.
Yeah, that's true. I tell you, we had when we were over in Iraq, we had a lieutenant. It was really cool when there was no pressure. But one of the things I learned from that experience was that when you get put in a lot of pressure, I'm sure you've been in those situations. The the way that I learned to get through it was, how am I going to look back at myself after I get through this situation? Because the tomorrow is going to come. That sun's going to rise no matter what happens. And I'm going to be through on the other end of it. And how am I going to view myself as I went through it? Because what's that old saying? What is it? Hard times make hard men make good times make easy men make hard times, you know? And one of that's always kind of rang true in the back of my mind as I went through it. Getting back to Los Angeles, so after being in Beverly Hills, and you know that was a big difference, man. Because I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, a little town outside of Cincinnati called Goshen, and being in LA and being in Beverly Hills was quite a culture shock, man. It really was. But the reason I went out there is because of the music and all that, man. I loved that Sunset Strip. I mean, we used to go to the Roxy, the Whiskey, the Rainbow, go to Saddle Ranch all the time. We all had motorcycles, and it was just a bunch of fun, man. LA used to be a lot of fun.
And then and things happened.
Getting back to your original question, which I so inappropriately did not answer, what made me become an entrepreneur? I was working at Morgan Stanley in Beverly Hills, and I got an idea. Basically, what we wanted to do was put web-based cameras inside of daycare centers so parents could tap in on the internet during the day. And it wasn't actually my idea. It was a friend of mine's idea. And we started, it just kept brewing and percolating with me. And then we got to the point where we put together a business plan. And then this is back when video was just starting to get on the internet, man. It was like 12 to 14 frames per second. Back in these days, people were walking around like robots and whatnot. And then so we started a company called Guardian Cam. We got funded through Sandlab Ventures. I think it was for 1.2 million. And then we expanded it. We put a lot of web-based webcams inside of daycare centers, and then parents would tap in on the internet and see their kids during the day. We had a subscription model that we did with it, and it worked out pretty well. But we didn't keep up with the technology, and the technology surpassed us. I mean, it just went by so quickly. We went from that, where we were just the only game in town, to all of a sudden all these security companies moved in, and then it was free, and then we couldn't figure out how to make money out of it. So we definitely did have a big weakness with technology. Looking back on it, we should have been more on top of technology and figured out how to generate revenues from different streams that could come from that site. And we didn't. We failed to do so, and that was the ultimate demise of the company.
I bet. Yeah. Right.
Then we started another company called Medicrew, which sold medical billing software. And I tell you what, man, we didn't have much money at all to start that with. And this was down in Newport Beach. And basically what we did was we took out a bunch of these ads, and these little classified ads, like the wooden nickel and the penny and all that. And we took all of our money and we just put it on the table and bet. And we had a little office with about like 3 or 4 phones on each side and a little desk. And it was just me and a buddy of mine. And we took out the ads, and we're sitting there waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we don't know what's going to happen. And all of a sudden, the first phone rang, bring, and I'm like, oh, the phone rang. And then it bring, and then the other phone rang, and it bring, and then the other phone rang. And then all of a sudden, we scaled that company to about 15, 20 people pretty quickly to handle the phones and handle the sales calls, wrote the pitches, things of that nature. And that thing blew up, man. It blew up quickly. And that's another thing you got to do. If your business does hit, man, you got to be able to manage it correctly as well.
And learn the scale part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Scaling is essential, man. It really is.
We got a question from LinkedIn from Mr. Barry Matson, a good friend of ours. He wants to know, can you comment on how an entrepreneurial mindset is created in you in the military and how it helped you afterward? It sounds like you weaponized curiosity into a figure it out mindset. Can you talk a little about your perspective on that? Thank you, Barry.
Man, that's a good question. This guy's smart, man. Weaponized curiosity into a figured out mindset. That's the honest to God truth, man.
He's a very smart man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's to you, Barry. Wow. I want to talk with that cat. Basically, in the military, we were lucky enough being in intelligence that they didn't give you a whole set of instructions on how to accomplish whatever it is you needed to accomplish. So you just kind of had to figure stuff out as you went. And whenever stuff broke down, you had to figure out how to get over it. And so that kind of taught me in the military to adapt and overcome. And when you see when you see something that's your objective, you take all available resources to accomplish that objective, and that's kind of carried through with every business that I've started and brought up and got running. And you don't look at them as like game stoppers. You look at them as challenges. Everything's a problem, and everything's got a solution. And essentially, what you need to do is you need to go through your mental Rolodex through past experiences or whatnot, and see if any of those experiences culminate into the solution that you're looking for at that moment. First is identifying the problem too. That's a big, huge thing. You got to be identify and become aware of what your problem is. And once you do that, then you can start addressing it with different solutions and different. Don't be afraid to take a risk. I mean, it's tough for me to say don't be afraid to take risks because I didn't have anything really to lose in those points. I just had me. And so, so I hope I answered that question. But basically, the military taught me the skills of adaptability and to be able to overcome and to achieve objectives, no matter what challenges lie in front of you. And that kind of curiosity kind of carried over into starting businesses.
I think curiosity helps a lot of those people who start their own businesses and drive forward and do great things with that business. It makes them successful because they're so curious. They're hungry. They want to succeed. They want to see what the shiny light is that they can't really reach yet, but it's there. They want to reach that pendulum and get there.
Man, I've always been that guy like behind door number 1, we have $100,000. Behind door number 2, we have, 2 beautiful women. What's behind door number 3? Only one way to find out. And that's, so I'm the stupid guy that goes up and opens door number 3. I really am. Yeah. So, I mean, So taking risk, that's another thing that the military taught me as well, is don't be risk adverse. Because, I mean, failure is just another step towards success. And you've got to look at it like that. Because believe me, I mean, you're going to fail a lot more than you're going to succeed. And the ability to be able to process those failures, understand them, why this went wrong, why that went wrong, and then to carry those lessons into your next project or whatnot is the best way. For me, it worked.
It definitely did. And look where you are now based on your struggles along in the beginning. All the things, trials and triumphs you had along the beginning, the ebbs and flows, how you got through the hard times. You said no one sees when you fall. Yeah. They see when you rise. They see when you rise and run. They might, if you don't get up, then they'll see that. If you get up and keep fighting, that's what they see. They see that persistence. They see that resiliency. They see that grit that you have built inside you. And that's not just from your Navy time. That could be from when you were growing up, what your parents instilled in you as well. Because in our era of growing up, if you didn't get up, you were going to get stomped on by someone else in your house. You had to have that grit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because, I think we're from a different era. I remember when I was a little kid, I was walking back from school, and a car swerved over to hit me. It was a bunch of teenagers in high school. I think I was in middle school or whatnot. And so then I got mad, and I threw a rock, and I hit their back windshield. And then they stopped, and this is in front of my house. And my dad's sitting on the porch, and they reverse backward, and then like 3 of them pop out. And my dad just sitting there, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, dude, you going to give me a hand here? And they proceeded to pummel me pretty good. And then my dad was like, hey, you're going to learn. So I don't know if this is good child rearing skills or not, but it worked for me.
That's just the way things were back then. My guest on Sunday night, we talked. I said, Generation X has this crazy thing. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have a way to see what each other were doing, but we all have the same stories. Yeah, we all did the same exact things somehow without ever knowing it. But now, if we sit at a table, we can have the same story about everything that happened on our block, in our school, on the streets. It was just the same thing. It was crazy.
It was, man. It was. And thank God we didn't have social media and whatnot, and everything wasn't digitally preserved for forever. Because there's a lot of cringing that went on back then with those decision-making processes when I was young, There's some big girls and some Pintos and bowling alley parking lots, man. I definitely would not want to relive those moments digitally.
Rites of passage. Everyone's done it. Don't let them lie to you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
We got another question from the audience. This is from at Hurlfoot. What inspired you to transition from the Navy into digital marketing? I think you kind of answered this already, but if just hit the wave tops on it.
Yeah, what got me into digital marketing is after I've had several companies with 15, 20, 25 employees. And for me, having employees was a real bear because if you got 15 employees, you got 15 problems walking through the day. And essentially what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a business that I could do, that I could control every aspect of. And that's what brought me to digital marketing, because I can control every aspect of the client experience with our agency. And before that, I had to really rely on different people. And my leadership skills weren't very good at that time at all. They're probably still not very good now. But at that time, it was just managing people was something that I kind of wanted to get away from. And digital marketing allowed me to do that. And that's kind of really why I went into digital marketing, just a brutal, honest answer.
And digital marketing, it grows every day, or it changes pretty much. The algorithms and change, so you have to be on top of it. Do you find that challenging in what you're doing, or since you're location based, it's a little different?
Man, absolutely. Just October 1st, Maryland and Washington banned geofence marketing, banned it from the states, and for privacy concerns. And what people don't really understand is that when you're doing geofence marketing, you're not getting personal information about the person. What you're getting is, if you want to dig that deep into it, you're going to get a 247 letter and numerical value of that person, and then you're able to start serving them ads across websites and apps that they visit. So that's passive advertising. What it does is it creates relevant advertising for people that are interested in certain things. And they try to put this privacy thing on it, and that's not the truth at all, man. What it is that you've got, I forget the gentleman's name that sponsored the bill, but basically it keeps little guys from being able to do targeted advertising with smaller budgets, and it favors big corporations to be able to advertise across the whole state, as opposed to somebody going to a car dealership. And so it keeps the big players in advertising and effectively knocks the small guys out of advertising. And it's a shame, man. And we just got caught with that right between the eyes. We never even saw that coming. We just received an email one day, hey, you can't do geofence marketing in Maryland or Washington. And so I hope that this legislation doesn't keep continuing, because all geofence marketing does is it really evens the playing field. I mean, we've got large clients and we have small clients, and we treat them all the exact same. We try to give them the utmost care and respect to do the best job that we can for them. And what we're seeing is that it just really unevens the playing field in small communities. And so, yeah. So that's another thing. You got to really be nimble and be quick. We had 3 campaigns with target zones in Maryland and Washington. And so we had to clear all 3 of those out and we can go to DC, but we can't go in Maryland. So thank God that we had a majority of the target zones in Washington, DC, as opposed to Maryland.
Yeah, thankfully that little district is there to the right and left there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, dude. So I don't know. Don't get me started talking politically, man. I got some pretty hard views.
That's something we, as lay people, regular people, we can't control what happens in political corners, because it's all about their pockets. It's not just about the people; it's about them and what they can do for them and make them look good. And if someone's paying them to pass a bill, that's what happens.
Exactly, man. I went and looked at the donors to the senator that was the sponsor of the legislation, and he said just what I said was correct. Ford Motor Company was his biggest donor. There was a bunch of other ones too, man. They were all huge companies, and I'm just like, man, no. But if you want to see legislation when it gets passed, always kind of follow the dollars and who it affects and how it affects them. And all this is doing is it's affecting small and medium-sized businesses is what it's doing. You're not going to be able to direct their budget toward the targeted audience that they have. They're going to have to go do search campaigns and stuff like that too. And our stuff is so much more effective and cost-effective than doing these major campaigns like statewide and stuff like that. So it hurts my heart, man. It really does. And the guy's just doing it to support big corporations is what he's doing. And it's a shame because, small and medium-sized businesses are the backbone of this company or this country, and they should be.
We've seen this when the big box stores came out. When you have the Walmarts, you have the Targets, the Home Depots, the Lowe's, they came out, and small town USA kind of suffered because those big box stores took away all the mom and pop stores.
They did. They took away Main Street, man. Absolutely, man.
It's the same thing that's happening with you right now. They're going to take you away by basically taking out your competitive edge and taking out your client's competitive edge. There's be a need for you if there's no competitive edge there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to start on fighting this stuff, man. I've been thinking about this for a while, and it's really gotten under my skin because I hate seeing small and medium-sized businesses being, outsourced by large corporations. I mean, I understand the struggles and whatnot that they face to get to that point where they're now the big guy. But, I mean, this country was built on, small and medium-sized businesses, and that's where a lot of innovation comes from. And that's where, like I said before, it essentially forms the backbone of this country.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
Stop trying to get rid of things that work for things that are just lining pockets. I'll get off the horse there for that one. But we'll go to the next question here. This is from a good name for veterans here, Puke and Rally. How does geofencing technology give businesses a competitive edge? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a great name, Puke and Rally, man. I love that. Essentially, what we can do is we put a digital parameter around the physical location. Like, say you've got a competitor that's a car dealership. And what we can do is say that your competitor is holding this big tent sale or whatnot. We can put a digital parameter around your competitor's lot. And then the people that physically go to your competitor's site, we can get them into an audience and then start serving them ads about what you have. So you can target audiences by the places that people go as opposed to what they're searching for or anything like that. Because places that people go is the biggest indicator of buying intent. Like when you go to a restaurant, you're going there to eat. When you go to a bar, you're going there to drink. When you go to a car dealership, you're going there to buy a car. And so what that does is it gives them the ability to be able to give relevant ads to people that go to these different places. So I mean, you can target an audience by, a couple hundred square feet of where people are going. I mean, our technology that we have right now, it's accurate within 15 inches. We're on the same backbone as like Uber. Whenever you call an Uber and they come pick you up, we work off the location reader of the cell phone. So it's accurate within like 15 inches. And so you're not doing an advertising spend covering a whole county or a state. You're covering a car dealership. If that makes any sense. I hope I explained that correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I understood it, and I'm a nug, so I can understand it. I think the audience can understand that one as well.
Yeah, it really, I mean, and what it does is it works for your budget. You're getting a lot more bang for your buck with advertising because you're getting the people that are definitely interested in whatever product or service that you have. Like, say you want to geofence a trade show. You don't have to physically attend the trade show. You can geofence that trade show, and you're going to pick up all the attendees that are going there, and you're going to be able to serve them ads for the next 30 days. And they're going to know who your company is, bring you exposure to your company, brand familiarity. And then people like to do business with people that they're familiar with.
Definitely do.
Yeah,
that's how you build your business.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. The more times you can get your brand in front of people that may be future prospects, the better off you're going to be, just quite simply. I mean, it's huge. Advertising's done this for a long, long, long time. That's why you're paying $2 million to put a commercial on in a Super Bowl. Yeah, so I mean, you'd be shocked by the effects, the psychological effects that advertising can have on people. I mean, it can form opinions, it can form feelings. If you can connect with your audience through like a video or even a targeted display, a banner ad, that's going to put you far above and beyond any competition that you have.
Oh, definitely. As we're talking right now, and you said some big name companies, I'd said some big name companies. If we go on our Facebook later, those big name companies are going to have ads to us. It's going to be on there. It's going to pop up Walmart or Home Depot or Ford. It's all going to jump on there because they're listening. The algorithm listens to us or feels our heart go up and down, palpitate whenever we talk about organizations. So that'll happen to us later tonight.
So if they're doing any free giveaways, I'd like to talk to the folks at Corona Light.
That's not popping up, but thank you, Corona.
Okay.
That's how you do it right there.
But if you do have a business, one of the biggest challenges you're going to face is getting the word out there and getting your brand out there. And we were able to do that. We're able to do that in very certain circles. Like, say I'm going to use the example of a car dealership again. If you're in Maryland, you're going to have to buy advertising across the whole network and everything like that, where our stuff is programmatically distributed. When I say programmatic distribution, what that is that whenever you bring up a website or an app, there's about 100 millisecond delay. And we have algorithms that bid on the available advertising inventory of that website or app. That's how we're able to get ads in front of very targeted audiences. Wow. And same with CTV. If you're watching CTV commercials, you and your neighbor are watching the exact same show, you're going to get different commercials. And they're going to be more relevant to you and what your interests and whatnot are.
Here we get a lot of pharmaceutical commercials that tell you you're going to die if you take the pills. So I'm not sure why they advertise like that, because they make you not want to take their stuff. Not that I want to take anything, but that just pushes me further away from the X.
Man, it makes like having herpes look like fun. I don't know, man. But that does it.
So that's what they say. What the man says.
Yeah, but the image that you feature on your advertisement is ultimately going to determine how much it connects with your audience and whatnot. That image that you put up, that face, and it's very, very important for businesses, man. If you're trying to get by on like some small dinky website or something like that, or you haven't given thought to your logos, or you haven't given thought to the colors and whatnot that you're using, you need to give those thought. Those are important, man, because they're ultimately going to determine that the emotion that somebody experiences when they're thinking about your company. And that is what you want to get. You want to get an emotion. You can craft that emotion through images and through video and things that are like that for your nature. And ultimately that emotion is going to determine whether that person is going to do business with you or not. There's a lot of psychology behind advertising, and I love it, and I'm interested in it, and I live, breathe, and eat it 24/7.
And that's the only way you can stay with your passion is if you stay up to date with it. You have to stay up to date with all that stuff, the psychology of it, the algorithms, the ebbs and flows of politics that go into it. All those things got to keep you on your toes the whole time. And this goes back to your Navy days when you had to be on your toes all the time anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Change in a moment's notice and come back and fix it and respond in the right way to work the problem. So now you're working the problem a different way, and things are working out for your clients, and that's a great thing.
Absolutely. We're blessed, man, to have as many clients as we do. I think we got like 1,200 and something clients. So we're really blessed. We really are. And so we just got to keep up the good work. And I was thinking about expanding it. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet, to be honest with you. One of the things that I really love is I love making television commercials. And I worked in television when I was in LA for a while. There's some crazy stories there, man. We did a poker show and whatnot. And it taught me how powerful the impact that television can have. So be very careful what you look at and what you watch, because it's going to definitely have an impact on you, whether you realize it or not, either conscious or subconscious.
Definitely. Yeah. Everything you do has second and third order effects.
Yeah. It does, man. It does. And that's also going to make you determine the success or the failure of your businesses too. A lot of businesses don't give they think if they just do a good job that they're not going to succeed. And that's just not the case whatsoever. I'll take a business that spends, all of their budget on marketing over a business that spends all their budget on getting the product or service right. Unfortunately, that business that puts all their money on marketing is going to win. Believe me, I've seen it time and time again.
Yeah, definitely. What was there in their eye? They're in front of my eyes when they're marketing. When they're doing R&D, I don't see what they're doing until it gets in front of me. I don't know what's going on.
And you talk about the changes in advertising, man. Go back to like the 50s and the 60s and whatnot, where you had the doctors smoking the cigarettes, man. And it just changes all the time, every day, man. And new trends come in, new things become hot, new things that were once working won't work anymore. So you got to really you got to think outside the box whenever you get into marketing and advertising as well, which is something that I really love. I really do, man. Being able to express creativity and find out what's important to the client and then being able to craft an image or an ad for that client and put it out there. And then some of them work, some of them don't. And you can't, anybody that can tell you that they can predict human behavior, I'm going to really take a hard look at. I'm going to give them a stink eye too, because we've had campaigns where I didn't think would do very well at all, just go through the roof. And then we had campaigns that were crafted perfectly, just crash and burn. So I mean, so. So anyway, getting back out of the psychology of advertising, just realize how important it is for a business, and marketing and advertising are just everything for a business that go toward the success or failure,
Definitely. It's outstanding.
And anybody I know you got a lot of listeners out there. If anybody has any questions, or if there's any way that I can help them out, man, I'd be more than happy to do so. And like I said before, we really support this show. I love this show. I love what you guys are doing. I love your message.
Outstanding. We appreciate that. And we're always open to sponsors if you have any sponsorship ideas. But here we go. This is a question from Boom Dynamite. Boom Dynamite. What advice would you give veterans who want to start their own companies? Thanks, Boom Dynamite.
Hey, Boom Dynamite, man, I appreciate the question. The advice I would give is get your foundation strong first. What I recommend is that you meditate. I do yoga. I lift weights. Get your foundation strong first. I know it doesn't apply to business, but what you want to do is you want to build off that strong foundation, and then go after something that you're passionate about, that you're going to wake up every morning and be interested and curious about, and that you want to work on. Whenever you got to become aware and determine what your passions are. Like, I love motorcycles. I really do. And I've never had a bad time on a motorcycle. I just love getting on them. I love riding them and everything like that. And once you determine what those passions are, then that can equate into a business idea. And then once you have that business idea, now you've got to take that idea and you've got to figure out how to execute and make it operational. And then the way to do that is to write it on paper, man, to write it down. I'm not talking about do a full-fledged business plan or anything like that at this point, but it's to determine what product or service that you want to do and make sure that it aligns with your passions, because you're going to go a lot further if you're supporting a business or running a business that's something that you love and like. Don't just do it for the money, man. I'm telling you. I did a couple of things for the money, and I was young and needed the money at the time. But if you can determine what your passion is and then curate that into a business, then you're going to win, man. You're going to win because you love doing what you're doing every day. And like right now, I love what I'm doing every day. I truly do. And that's the way to go. That's the shortcut. Find out what your passion is, become aware of it, figure out how you can turn that into a product or a service, and then take that product or service and build your business with it. And then just keep grinding every single day at it. Just grind. Some days you're not going to know what to do. Sit down and write a blog post for your website. Get on social media. Start going through social media talking about your business. Get that out there. Just keep doing it, moving it every day, moving the ball just a little bit more forward. Sometimes it's going to feel like the plight of Sisyphus, but eventually you're going to get that ball on top of the mountain. You got to believe that too.
Definitely. And they say a person who loves what they do will never work a day in their life.
That's the truth, Rich. That is the truth, man. I haven't worked since we started Get Geofencing, and I've had it for 7 years. We started it from, man, a little table I had outside on the garage, and I would just show up for work every day and just try to figure out what I was going to do that day. And now we're rocking and rolling a little bit.
That's when you can change the sentence from "I got to go to work" to "I get to go to work."
Man, that's true. That is true, man. That's a good way to put it.
Breathe a little easier every day as you get up and put them feet to the ground. Like at our age, it's a victory just getting up out of the bed and putting your feet on the ground without all these weird noises happening and maybe something not working correctly when you stand up. And you're happy that you made that victory. Now you get to go and help someone else that day and serve with purpose as you go through.
Absolutely. Serve with purpose, man. Serve with purpose. That's huge. And talking about getting older, I used to make fun of my dad because he always made noises when he got up and sat down. Now I understand it, man. I find myself making noises when I get up and sit down. I'm like, oh, God.
I understand karma, Dad. I understand.
Another thing is that, man, if you have to work, like for a while, I had to sell doors just to have a job to work, but I knew I was going to do something else. If you get filler time where you're just, financially, distraught, get you a little job to work something, but realize that job isn't you, and put your off time into developing something for you. No matter what it was. If you want to sell snowmobiles, you can do it. There's nothing that you can't do. And I can guarantee you 100% that, anything that you want to do, it can be done. Look around you, every service that you see, every product that you see, that's a business. It's truly a business,
100%.
So, yeah. Think outside the box, man. And one of the things that we got really fortunate with being in the intelligence community was that we were given specific instructions, like an infantryman or something like that, you guys did, which I respect and admire. We were just given an objective, and we had to figure out how to accomplish that objective.
You still got results. It didn't matter. You had different parameters, but you got the same results.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You did a great job prior to being a businessman. You're doing a great job now as a businessman. Nation's been listening to you for the last 50 minutes. We didn't drop as many F-bombs as you thought we would in the green room.
I was trying to be cognizant of it. I was like, oh God, don't say F-bomb.
We did.
That's when I dropped the F-bombs, man.
How can the Misfit Nation, if someone wants to pick your brain a little more, or if they want you to come on there, show us a lot of our guests, our audience is actually our podcast host as well. How can they get in contact with you to maybe pick your brain?
Go get geofencing.com. Schedule an appointment with me, man. On our website, we have a appointment scheduler. I'll talk with you on a Zoom call. I'll go over, man, whatever you want to talk about. I'll talk with you about it. That's one way to schedule if you want to go with the Zoom call. My email address is chris@getgeofencing.com. So either which way, if they're part of the Misfit Nation, I'll do anything I can to help you guys out, man. You or your listeners.
Outstanding. We appreciate that. And you have listened to our other shows. You know what the next question should be. It's going to be, what's 3 things the Misfit Nation can start doing tomorrow to be better people?
3 things the Misfit Nation can start doing tomorrow to be better people. First, they teach you in an airplane that if your airplane's going down, and make sure you put the mask over yourself first. That way, then you can help out other people. So the first thing would be to build a strong foundation, get good habits that lead to productivity. What I do is I do yoga every morning. I do yoga with Adrian. Shout out to Yoga with Adrian on YouTube. It's free. That kind of helps me out with flexibility and whatnot. I used to be in a lot of pain, man, all the time. My back hurt, everything hurt. I used to have to lay on the floor for 3 days at a time because my back went out. And ever since I've been doing yoga, man, I haven't had anywhere near that kind of pain. So I highly recommend yoga. That's the first thing. The second thing is to get to know yourself, man. If you got ChatGPT or something like that, and you don't know really who you are, have ChatGPT ask you 10 questions. Say, hey, ChatGPT, ask me 10 questions so I can figure out who I am a little bit more. And ChatGPT will do it, man. Use AI for those type of things. It's really cool. I did it, and it showed me a lot about myself that I didn't even know about. So first thing, healthy habits. Second thing, get to know yourself. And what would be a good third thing, man? Third thing is to go after your passions once you're aware and you're able to define them. Go after it. And don't let anybody tell you that there's nothing that you can't do. If you want to be, I don't know if you could be a basketball player or something like that, but man, I drove out to LA in an 85 T-Bird and I had about 10 G's in my pocket. And, I lived out there for 35 years. So now I'm down in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, but then I go back to LA on Monday. So
See, things have changed a little bit. So outstanding. Chris, has been awesome chatting with you and learning more about getgeofencing.com and more about you as Chris, not just as the businessman. This has been a great chat with you. Thanks for hanging out with the Misfit Nation tonight.
Man, thank you for what you do, Rich. I tell you, man, I've had 3 friends that have succumbed to suicide, and 2 of them were in the Navy, and one of them was a civilian. And man, I tell you, your guys' message, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem is true and true again. I mean, I've definitely been I have problems with depression too. And I understand the mindset and the message that you guys are getting across that, man, Tomorrow, everything may change. You got to always remember that, man, because you never know what tomorrow's bringing. And we're only able to read one page at a time of this book of life. We truly are. And you don't know what the next page holds. So if you're having any thoughts or anything like that, man, just, it's easy to say, get them out of your head, but focus your attention on something else. Get something else going on for that moment. Anything it takes you to get through the night. The words of great Frank Sinatra.
Frank used to hang out with my grandmother in Hoboken, New Jersey. Great man.
Oh, man.
Chris, again, thanks for hanging out tonight. Misfit Nation, there will be no show on Sunday as I will be in D.C. with our marathon running the 50th Annual Marine Corps Marathon. If you are in D.C., the Misfit Nation will be there doing media for the days leading up to the marathon, and we'll be all over the course the day of. So I'll be tired and running. I have a microphone. You see me, talk to me. You might get some swag if we have some left by the time we get to you. Like Chris just said, a day tomorrow with you is 100% better than a day without you. Do not make that permanent solution to a temporary problem. We need you here tomorrow. The sun will rise tomorrow. No matter how dark today is, the sun will rise tomorrow. We need you here. You know our contact information, info@themisfitnation.com, jake@themisfitnation.com, or steven@themisfitnation.com. Write any one of us. We will get with you. We will talk to you until someone who is a mental health professional or a medical professional can get to you and take care of you so that you can live longer, stronger, and be with us. Until next time, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are